This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this fine Sunday. It's already Sunday? Dang, man, that sucks. Weekend's gone already. But that said, that doesn't mean Oilers news is gone already. Of course, the 9 Things article from Kurt Levens has come out at midnight. And unexpectedly so, or very expectedly so, he's talking all about goaltending in this edition of the list. And the other thing is, of course, we've had a lot of rumors the past 3 or 4 days about said Darcy Kuemper. And so today, you know what, let's finally talk about it and get it out there in the open, and let's get what I think kind of is happening here for the Oilers when it comes to this discussed, because you saw Oilers Nation put out an article that the Oilers need to take care of or take advantage of Arizona, and there's so many ways the Oilers can get somebody out of Arizona that will help the roster. Obviously, Arizona did better in the playoffs than the Oilers, so yeah, you know what, there's some better players on there organizationally wise, and that's fine and dandy. And Darcy Kuemper obviously leading the way. I know some people would be huge on Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but I think, honestly, the best go all around for the Oilers, if they're picking anyone up, would be to pick up Darcy Kuemper. And the reason being, right, steady Eddie goaltender the past 2 years, really looks to, if you end up keeping Mikko Koskinen, provide a good tandem. If not, if you get rid of Mikko Koskinen, you're still providing yourself a very good number 1 goalie. So let's get to the stats quickly here first, and then let's kind of divulge what'll have to happen here for the Oilers to make something happen with the Darcy Kuemper trade. So the last 2 years for Kuemper, he has won a total of 43 games in a total of, 84 games? 43 out of 84. So the guy's won more than 50% of his games, with 10 of them being finished in an OT or shootout. Except for, here's the numbers in Arizona. And I mean, honestly, are you going to blame a goalie for only winning half his games? Or are you going to blame the team? How about we take a look at the numbers? 925 save percentage and 928 save percentage, 18, 19, 19, 20 respectively. And then 233, 222. Just unbelievable goals against average numbers. The only problem is, if you're looking at the same chart I am on your screen, you're going to see that Kuemper only played 29 games this season. That was due to injury. I believe he was injured back in December and then was injured once again in February, somewhere around there, I believe, from what I've read this morning. So keep that in mind. However, you look at the shots against for Kuemper. Shots against 903 in 29 games played. So for the Arizona Coyotes, 903 in 29 games played. That is actually an alarming number comparatively to what we kind of think of when we think of Arizona Coyotes hockey. That is 31.5 shots per game Kuemper was facing in those 29 games this year. Not saying the Oilers' goaltending and defense is better, but just when we think about Arizona, we think they clamp down defensively and limit shots. Well, they did not do that too much. However, another stat you need to look at, Kuemper started 29 games this year, quality start percentage of .759. That's 75, almost 76% of the time he was going out there and giving you a performance good enough to win on. And of course, he only won on 16 games out of those 29. Not saying every quality start led to a win, but you get where I'm going there. And of course, then you get into the goals against average and stuff. It looks good all the way around. And you know what? No award trophies for him this year, but those numbers are Vezina worthy if you end up getting far enough into the season. Unfortunately, due to injury, Kuemper did not, and that is why you don't see him getting any nods for any Vezinas or any Hearts or anything like that. But let's just quickly hop over to that Edmonton Journal article, because the only reason this is at all worth really talking about is because of what Kurt Levens said in the article, in which it's pretty much, this is going to be your number 1 item for the summer, is goaltending, goaltending, goaltending all summer long. So keep that in mind, keep that on lockdown, and keep watching and watching and watching, because he expects the Oilers to make a move. And number 1 point on his article is 3 paragraphs long, but get to this one here. Straight from the article, expect the Oilers' main focus this offseason will not be on defense or a better third-line center, but rather on goaltending. Kuemper is also available out of Arizona. He is not overly expensive for the quality you would get. Kuemper comes with the same cap hit, $4.5 million, that Mikko Koskinen has, and for the same term, 2 more years. Kuemper has also had a terrific back-to-back couple of seasons, but he does not have a pedigree nor a long resume as a stone-cold lock #1 goaltender, so some caution is in order, but that may be a moot point for Edmonton, as I think it is more likely that Kuemper goes to a club that has picks to spend. And here's the nightmare scenario. I don't know if Levens is just throwing this in here to make us panic, or if he's throwing this in here to be serious. A more eligible suitor might be goaltending poor pick-rich club like Calgary. So, yes, end of the day, right, Kurt Levens is talking about what would end up being the difference maker in a trade for Kuemper and its picks. And unfortunately, the Oilers don't quite have picks to do that all the way around. But what the Oilers do have that I haven't seen anyone mention to make this trade happen is Arizona's a team that, you know what, if they're going to go rebuild next year, especially if they're getting rid of Kuemper and if they don't re-sign Taylor Hall, you might be interested in a guy like Jesse Puljujärvi. Now, whether you hate Puljujärvi or whether you love Puljujärvi, what he brings or doesn't bring to the table, it doesn't matter, because he's still a prospect, and he's a top prospect outside of NHL farm club or NHL ranks at this point. So, use that, right? We've heard Ken Holland is willing to trade our first round pick. Well, our first round pick is 14th overall, so I don't know where the Arizona Coyotes draft. Let me see if I can go find that. Arizona Coyotes, or did they get rid of their first overall pick? That might be a problem for us if they did, because that would screw up my theory here. So hold on a second here. Let me go to teams. I'm trying to figure out where to find picks. Yeah, so the Arizona Coyotes, sorry, I should have known better. They don't have a first round pick, so pretty much wipe that off the board. I'm not 100% sure how you could pull a trade for Darcy Kuemper, because what I was going to suggest is you trade your first, yes, Puljujärvi, and another prospect for Arizona's first and Darcy Kuemper. However, without having a first round pick like the Arizona Coyotes don't, it's a totally moot point, and I should just completely move on and not waste any more of your time. That said, there's still always a way to go about a trade. Obviously, if we're starting to see guys get traded for conditional 7th round picks just to retain $2 million of cap space and get rid of $2 million of cap space, ladies and gentlemen, get prepared. We might see anything and everything being an option on the table when it comes to trades this offseason. And yes, okay, no, I've already heard the comments. I don't have to read the comments before this video is uploaded, because I can tell you, yes, I hear everyone saying Ken Holland needs to get in gear and make a trade. Ken Holland has said he will not make a trade till the postseason is done. So keep that in mind, please, would you, when you go to comment on this video. There's a lot of things I put in the ends of videos to make sure you guys just understand where I'm coming from, and yet I still have to respond to those comments, and it drives me nuts because, guys, all the information's here if you listen long enough. So, Darcy Kuemper, tough guy to trade for, I guess is what I'm going to say here to wrap up this video. Is it's not going to be an easy guy to get out of Arizona, based on if we can't make a swap of first round picks work, we kind of really can't make anything work when it comes to Kuemper, other than how do you build a package around Jesse Puljujärvi, other prospects. Are you willing to give up a Sam Marukov? Are you willing to give up one of the highly touted guys? Obviously, you can't be willing to give up Bouchard or Broberg, so scratch that off the table. Raphael Lavoie, oh man, hold on to that guy like gold. He's going to be insane. So, honestly, right, where do we have a package to make for Darcy Kuemper? Is Stuart Skinner worth enough to Arizona if you package him with Jesse Puljujärvi? Very, very unlikely. So, end of the day, Olivier Rodrigue, are you going to give up your best North American goaltender for Darcy Kuemper? Well, that wouldn't be a bad trade, but again, if Kuemper's been injured last year and it continues this year, and then all of a sudden, you know what, you're not getting the goaltending quality you got out of him in Arizona because the defense isn't as good, my goodness, then it's a disaster of a trade and everybody's blaming Ken Holland. So, guys, I don't know. You're going to have to logic this one out for me because, end of the day, we don't have a lot that Arizona wants in terms of stuff because the other thing mentioned too is cash poor Arizona and actual salaries instead of just cap hit is going to be an issue for a lot of teams this year. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one.